It's black and runny. It occurs naturally on Earth and resides mainly underground. If you set fire to it, it burns. If you put it in machines with wheels on, it makes them go, and it's used to make things, which we've all been brought up to love and crave. Black stuff, we worship you. Because the black stuff is so essential to our existence, world leaders like Hillary Clinton use it in a kind of weapon in their game to carry out a highly dubious agenda. You see, it's okay for everyone to have black stuff, but Hillary and her chums say they are not happy because Iran, who have lots of black stuff, is trying to make grey stuff. They don't want Iran to have any grey stuff because grey stuff is used to make nuclear bombs. Only America and their friends are allowed to have grey stuff, and they have more grey stuff than you can shake a stick at. But under no circumstances will America allow Iran to make its own grey stuff, even though Iran has made it perfectly clear it has no grey stuff, nor has any intention of making grey stuff. But Hillary and co don't believe them, or so they say, and a while back told the countries of the world that if anyone continues to buy black stuff off Iran, America will stop buying their things. This is bad because countries like America to buy their things, even though they pay for them with useless pieces of paper. And so it was, until recently when it became apparent that many countries couldn't survive without their black stuff from Iran. There might not be enough black stuff to put in their machines with wheels, and it is costing too many pieces of paper. So Hillary came to the rescue and kindly said that 10 EU countries and Japan could continue to buy black stuff off Iran and America wouldn't stop buying their things. This might sound very trivial, petty and pathetic, and indeed it is, and it's one of the reasons why the black stuff you put in your machine with wheels costs so many pieces of paper. I'm Richard D. Hall and welcome to Richplanet TV. On today's show I will be screening the final part of my 2011 speaking tour, which was filmed at Weston-super-Mare in June 2011. Just a quick note about this year's speaking tour. I have secured venues for Dublin, Liverpool and Edinburgh, and I'll also be speaking at 10 further venues throughout the UK in May. So check the richplanet.net website for details of that. In previous shows, I have interviewed Tony Farrell, a principal police intelligence analyst who was sacked from his job in South Yorkshire Police when he tried to explain to the police that the London bombings in July 2005, where 56 people died, were most likely carried out by intelligence agencies and not by Islamic suicide bombers. For the last year and a half, Tony has been fighting a legal battle for unfair dismissal. He was effectively sacked for telling the truth. I can back up this statement by pointing you to a briefing paper written by the principal intelligence analyst, which can be downloaded from the link on the screen and contains his detailed analysis of why the London bombings were most likely an inside job. Now, Tony Farrell recently received his council tax bill, and I'm just going to read some extracts of a letter which Tony sent to the council in response to his council tax bill. I have reasonable cause to suspect that to pay it would involve committing an offence under the Terrorism Act 2000 section 15 in brackets 3, which sets out that a person commits an offence if he A. provides money or other property, and B. knows or has reasonable cause to suspect that it will or may be used for the purposes of terrorism. He goes on to say, as a former principal intelligence analyst for South Yorkshire Police, I have reasonable cause to suspect that our government are committing acts of terrorism. Most obviously, this is in relation to the London bombings of July the 7th, 2005, and the wars in Afghanistan, Iraq and elsewhere in the Middle East. The abject failure of Chief Constable Meredith Hughes, CBE, to investigate my disclosures with respect to the strategic threat from terrorism when I was a principal intelligence analyst renders that organisation complicit in countenancing the perpetuation of the cover-up of acts of terrorism. What is more, the abject failure of South Yorkshire Police to investigate my allegations on the strategic threat also renders that public-funded organisation which resides in Barnsley as complicit. Since a proportion of my council tax services contribute to South Yorkshire Police and South Yorkshire Police Authority, it follows that I would be committing an offence under section 15 in brackets 3 of TACT to make payments given I am now aware of this legislation and given I have reasonable cause to suspect. And we wish Tony well with his legal battle. The Daily Mail recently featured an article about the BBC moving a large number of its staff to Manchester. Apparently 1,500 BBC staff are being moved from London to Manchester, and many of the stars aren't happy about the move. Now, the thrust of the Daily Mail article was whinging about the fact that many people in Manchester are not being given jobs as a result of this move. It seems like it's just a wholesale move of the existing staff from London to Manchester. This made me curious as to the real reason why the BBC is moving its operation to Manchester. I think some of you probably know what I'm thinking about. Anyone with any inside information on this move, please get in touch via richplanet.net, because I personally doubt it is to save money as they seem to be claiming. Now, last year we saw UK student protests over exorbitant tuition fees, and in my experience, students on the whole are a very peaceful bunch and usually demonstrate peacefully. So during a peaceful student protest, would you expect to find agent provocateurs employed by the police, yes, that's right, employed by the police, to seemingly cause trouble and make arrests? Watch carefully at the shenanigans going on in this student protest. This video is from the YouTube channel Security9. See you after the break.
What job are you doing? Anyone get a photo of the undercover cop? Right, hey, he's in for the protest. Woo! Woo!
Take your hood down, it's like a yob.
No more protest.
Yeah, they are all undercover cops and there's an arrest being going on there, yeah. Hello guys, smile on the camera.
A bit of a joke, like, they were wandering in and out of police line, just snatched them.